in. Lucky Lefty podcast on Notre Boys. We are in the building. We are brought to you by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. Bleav Network presented by FanDuel. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Helps with the views. And then you leave your comments, questions, because we respond to all. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. And on Saturday evening, around 7 o'clock Eastern time, after we're 3-2, you can take a nice little shot of that Honora whiskey, but you make sure that when you do, you drink
responsibly.
Let's get it. Yes. 2 more days. NFL tonight. West Coast battle out there on the left coast, but you left. Notre Dame, Boise State, 3:30 p.m. kickoff. Notre Dame Stadium on Saturday. Let's talk about the predictions. Let's talk about the 3 keys. Let's hear from the combatants on the Notre Dame side. This is Lucky Lefty Podcast. We are the Honora boys. That dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK'S ZAIRE. I am SHAUN Davis, SD2 Mics. As always, we are on Bleav Network, especially on the audio side, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Tap in with us. You've been doing a great job. We appreciate you. You're finding us on Spotify. You're definitely finding us on Apple Music. The Apple Music numbers are looking really good. Now let's try to balance it off on the Spotify side. Tap into the audio edibles that we provide each and every day. We provided something special, not only last night, because we provided a Patreon exclusive, which is the Players Only podcast. And we said, you know what? Let's just give it to the people this week, live and in color. And we were pleased to have Malik be joined by Terrence Howard, not the actor, but former Notre Dame running back Terrence Howard. It was an absolutely fantastic interview, him talking about what makes running backs great, what makes Jadari and Jeremiah great, what sets them apart from the frauds up there in Happy Valley that want to be the best duo in college football, but they're really not.
Haven't heard much from
them. You know, especially when one of them, Nick Singleton, said he was better than 4.
See, yeah. See,
you know,
if 4 not thinking nothing about them, and
no,
he
not
got
at
their
all.
coach. So it's like, come on, guys, come on,
snatch them. No, look, we are presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com, or you can download the FanDuel app. Notre Dame still sits as a 20.5-point favorite over the Boise State Broncos. Now, that over-under has crept down a little bit to 62.5. It's sitting at 62.5 right now. And let me tell you something. Who do you think is the best bet to score the first touchdown, Left? Who do you think is the best bet to score the first touchdown? Come on, it's simple.
It's the running backs.
It's the 2 running backs. It's the 2 running backs.
I was deciding between which one. That's all.
That would be a good bet because Jeremiah Love is at plus 260 and Jadarian Price is at plus 480. You can find that over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Go download the FanDuel app. Get your GTB questions in because we definitely want to see them. Put them in. Super chats, get them in. We look forward to seeing your comments, your questions you might have for us. Don't forget, patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. 5 shows for $5. You get 5 shows over there for $5. Of course, we gave you an exclusive last night with the Players Only podcast. And life is good, man. I've realized something today, Left, before we get your 3 keys to victory. Have you ever recognized and admitted that you're an addict? Have you ever recognized and admitted that you're a hype? for something.
Yeah.
I had to admit today. I had to admit today that I had a problem. I had a problem. Yes, I am so basketball starved that I literally sat up and watched a preseason game between the Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers with no Joel Embiid, no Paul George, in Abu Dhabi.
You watching guys that ain't making the team. Oh,
let me tell you how bad. I'm not even flipping the channel during the commercials, bro. And that's when I realized, like, I got it bad, like Usher said. Like, oh, man.
I don't want to miss a bucket right now. That's how you know you're a true basketball, aficionado.
I was like,
because you take an interest in games that they know don't even mean anything. They just trying to say, okay, what we got? We just playing. It's like open gym. That's how I am with football. Like, I'm going to Pee Wee games, just to see the up and coming talent because they play 2 weeks before any football really starts.
Yeah,
so I'm out there really into it. Florida's like that. Florida and Pee Wee football, they have a problem.
It's bad, man.
Game for Pee Wee football down there. It's crazy.
Like, I love I love baseball, but even last night, like, we got done with the players only show. I sat down and started to watch the Reds and Dodgers. And all I really wanted to say it again.
It's the playoff race, right? So they serious.
The Dodgers closed out the Reds last night in the wild card. The Padres and the Cubs, I believe, are getting ready to start right now in their game 3. The Red Sox and the Yankees had their game 3 tonight. The Guardians and Tigers were playing their game 3 earlier today. So that should be coming to a close soon. So, yeah, it's fall, baby. It's fall. Everything is getting ready to go. NBA about to kick off. College basketball right around the corner. Man, NFL getting to like the first quarter mark. Man, college football, week 5, week 6. You got to love it, man. This is when
the best month of sports. October, November, best month of sports, man.
Now, one sport that will never get my preseason eyes is hockey. Never.
Really?
No, I will not watch preseason hockey. Never.
Wait, what's the difference?
No. Man, my boys are trying to talk me into UEFA in the Premier League. Soccer.
Soccer. No, you got to watch that.
They've gotten hooked. Yeah. But they're hooked because they bet. I know why they're hooked.
See, that's not the same.
They bet.
They don't actually like it. It's the betting thing.
I'm like, no. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not. No.
You see the NBA. The NBA trying to get smart and say you can put your bets on the TV during the game, so you can keep up with it. That's how they're gonna do it on Amazon. Because Amazon's been pretty cool with football and basketball. How on Thursday Night Football you can go to the Gen view.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the all 20. You can see the touchdown end zone during the game instead of the traditional view. So it's getting real. It's getting real with viewership.
Man, I found out and I admit it. I'm a basketball junkie. I'm just a high school, men's, women's, college. It doesn't matter. Preseason, I'm all in, bro. I just had to admit it today. I'm all in. And it's worse than baseball. Because last night, as soon as the Reds came up the bat, I turned. And then when the Dodgers came back up the bat, I started watching again. It's like, I don't even want to see the Reds back. For what?
The Reds are going to be all right, man.
Let me tell you something, man. Terry Francona, that dude's he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer, bro. What he did in Cleveland and then go to the other team in Ohio and get them to the playoffs. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. He said the best athlete he ever coached was Michael Jordan, by the way. Just want to mention that. When he was in the minor leagues.
It's easy to say that when he's, regarded as what he is. It's like, come on. That's like my love for James.
I just quoted the man. Just quote the man. I'm excited about tomorrow too, Lev. I'm excited about tomorrow as well. I'm literally going to a football game. The number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the state of Illinois will be facing off tomorrow on 63rd and Dante on the south side of Chicago. 7:30 p.m. where I would literally be watching. I was wrong. I would literally be watching 13 young men. 13 young men. I was wrong. 13 young men that Notre Dame has either recruited at one point, or they have visited Notre Dame multiple times, or Notre Dame is currently recruiting them, all playing in this game from the 26, 27, and 28 class.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman's got to be there. It's like, dude, your whole recruiting efforts is here.
Crazy.
Is he going by himself, or any other coaches going?
I'm not sure. I'm sure if he goes, that he never goes alone. Him and Coach Al Washington usually come to Chicago together. Every time I was at a game when they were at Gately last year, and they were it was Al Washington, Coach Freeman, and it was one of the other staffers. Wow. One of the other staff. But definitely it's going to be an event. The Mount Carmel home games are an event. It's like putting a football stadium in the middle of like a neighborhood. I'm talking about in the middle of the
people walk into the game from their house.
So people could come out. They could watch the game from like in their apartments.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Across the street. It is literally like a party at a Mount Carmel game. And then like the neighborhood kids are like outside because they have a gate and they allow the kids to stand outside the gate, play football, watch the game. You don't even have to sit in the stands. I'm telling you, it is, man. Like it's an event. If you're ever in Chicago on a Friday night, and you get the chance to go to a Simeon basketball game, I can't honestly. I don't know.
Who are we going for?
Because it's two different styles, Left. It's two different styles. Okay. It's two different styles. I have a better relationship with more players on the Mount Carmel team. I'm really just starting to build with the Brother Rice squad. But I've been to 3 games on both sides this year.
Okay, so you know like how it goes.
I've seen both teams play 3 times. Mount Carmel has like 4 wide receivers that are cold. Matter of fact, 4. Quinn Burrell is the 27th target. The 28 wide receiver target is a kid named Marshawn Thornton. He is like pure take top off the defense.
Oh, just big bombs away.
He gets busy. So he'll be visiting for the Boise State game after they play Brother Rice. But they opened it up. They had this little kid Dowling. Bro, he's like 5'11". And then he throws the ball. And it's like a cannon, bro. It's like, yo, this little dude can sling.
Oh, like super explosive.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they throw it all over the field, bro. I think they just throw the run in, just like, all right, we haven't run it, so
we got to run it back. So right. Yes.
But that Brother Rice, the strength Brother Rice defense, which is the number 1 defense in the state. Front
good matchup. The front
Braden Parks, Cam McGee, King Liggins, who's committed to Illinois. So it's just that battle, like who's ever, and then the offense for Brother Rice is very balanced, really good play action game, elite quarterbacks that can run and spin it. Yeah. So if it was cold weather, I would definitely lean Brother Rice because it's October. You think by now Chicago would probably be like in the 50s at kickoff. It's supposed to be like 75 at kickoff, bro. So
no weather. No weather.
Yeah, Mount Carmel might get busy. They might get busy in the passing game.
Yeah.
They might get busy. If it's a close game, I'll say this: if it's a close game in the fourth quarter,
You
I would
taking
lean
off.
to the deep. I would take defense. No, I would take the
Ooh,
defense.
okay.
I think Brother
4
Rice
good
can.
receivers and the quarterback in high school is pretty dangerous.
Brother Rice beat them last year.
Oh, okay.
They beat them at Brother Rice, and Brother Rice, in my opinion, they didn't have an offense last year. They just beat them it was just a battle, defensive battle last year, and they won it at home. Their offense is much improved this year, but they're on the road, and the Mount Carmel offense is absolutely ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous.
Like Notre Dame ridiculous. You see.
No, facts.
Something compared to
No. No joke, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. They are averaging, and I promise you we're going to get to MALIK'S 3 keys coming up in a few seconds. I just want to make sure I get you the average. I think they just won. Quinn Burrell took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown last week. And he had like 2 other touchdowns receiving. So they are blitzing teams because they started out with the big win over Archbishop Moeller in Ohio.
That's a big win because they're good consistently.
43-42.
Carson Hobbs school. Shout out Carson Hobbs.
Yeah, 43-42. Then they beat St. Rita, one of their arch rivals, 35-14. And they took their foot off. They took their foot off the gas because they were up 35-7. In the third quarter. They could have.
Yeah, they just trying to get They got Mercy too, right?
Yeah. Then they played a state champion from last year and one of the best teams in Nazareth Academy. Beat them 42. Julian Love School. They beat them 42. And that's JJ McCarthy's old school. 42-23. Then they played another squad and beat them 41-14. And then they played
They putting up points.
Then they played Bennett Academy last week and beat them 46-0. Like, dude, I mean, they just put 40 on the board every week. Yeah. That's what they do.
That's their thing. Yeah,
and they haven't played cupcakes. That's the thing, though.
Oh yeah, they're putting 40. It don't matter who out there. They getting to 40 something.
Right. Yeah. Brother Rice has been banging everybody, but they played some cupcakes.
So they ain't really tested. They ain't played a team that can get 40 a week.
Not really.
But that's the thing I love about Notre Dame. How many teams, regardless of our schedule, but just in the top 25, can put up 40 a game? Not put up 40 on a good day, but how many teams keep up with that? Because I don't see too many defenses taking away both running backs, all the pass game. Like, something's gonna have to give in our offense where I don't think teams can manage that all game, So I think that's cool to see that in high school. The 2 best teams in the state, because it usually deters their path on, do they reconnect in the playoffs, or is this
they're in different classes. They're in different classes. Okay. Yeah, they're in different classes. Mount Carmel, I believe, is in the bigger class. Brother Rice is in 5A. I think Brother Rice is in 6A.
Oh, okay. Because California does it like classes like that, and then they have a playoffs that you do your division, and then they have a state playoffs where you play in the just best teams, like state champions of other divisions. Yeah.
And then they have because they're in the same conference in the Catholic League, so it's almost like the Catholic League bragging rights are bigger than winning state. It's like you can win state
because all the recruited teams are the Catholic schools.
Because they play each other. Loyola Academy, Mount Carmel, St. Rita, Brother Rice, they all play each other.
That's like a real system. Like, all them teams are going to be good amongst each other and stuff. And they got a lot of players that got D1 talent. Absolutely. Then it just to be like a city thing where I think it's different for basketball, because city basketball is always bigger than private school basketball. That's just how I've seen it. Just
not really. Not Chicago. Not Chicago,
really?
No, it's always been. Simeon is biggest school, but De La Salle has always been
Okay.
Mount Carmel. Antoine Walker went to Mount Carmel. Like,
Oh, okay. They got a basketball
yeah,
team. Dang.
yeah. Donovan Nab played with Antoine Walker on the
Mount
basketball
Carmel.
court. They're on the same team at Mount Carmel. Yeah, so yeah, no. In Chicago, basketball is just basketball. Whether you go
Oh,
to a
okay.
public school, private school, I mean, the public school games are always lit.
That's what I was
You
saying. The
know,
city comes in public school basketball
yeah,
games.
yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast right here. Let's start with Malik's three keys, brought to you by Honora Whiskey. The three keys to victory. Notre Dame takes on the Boise State Broncos, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, Notre Dame Stadium. What are your three keys, Left?
I think the first key is speaking about our defense and to stack on good days, right? You have one good moment, you want to stack good moments. In order for us to stack good moments in this game, I think the one thing we should focus defensively on is getting back to our identity of last year, and that's taking away the other opposing offense's best thing. I think that if we focus on that and in the numbers, I'm saying we're limiting their run game or their pass game to half of what they usually have an average of. That's a key identifier for me of us defensively throughout the week of preparation, knowing their strengths and attacking their strengths. So if we can have the strength of Boise State's offense, which I think it's a little balanced, but more leaning on the passing game this year. But if we could take away their strength, like their best player, if their best player doesn't have a great day, that's a win and signifier of us getting better, even though we're supposed to win this game. Like you got to think of things of what would make us better, even if we beat them by 30 points. Because then you got to start thinking of when we do have challenges, what is it going to be that's going to come up? So holding our opposing offense defensively and taking away their best thing by halving the total yards in that category is, I know that's super specific, but that's one key. The second key, I would love, I love, but to see him and Price have repeat success. If they can get a total of 6 touchdowns between the two of them, that's a 99%, chance that we'll probably win that game. If they're just teaming off on taking, because if they're giving you 6 touchdowns between the two like they usually do, CJ is going to follow that up with 1 or 2 or 3 of himself just feeding off of that. So I know our success comes when the two running backs are going off and CJ eats off of that. So that's the second key. Those two have a total of 6 touchdowns between the two of them. Because at this point, it don't even matter who's scoring. Right? It don't matter if it's Jadarian or Love. It's going to come whenever it comes. It's going to happen. And then the third thing, which I think is the backbreaker for this team this year, is special teams. I Bleav the back-breaking play of the Arkansas game where they were just totally done was when they came out of half and we did the fake punt in our own territory at that. Like we just disrespectful. We up 20 plus points. It's a known punting situation. This is like any analytics, any people that are advising Marcus Freeman is going to be like every situation is going to kick. Well, he's like, you know what? We need to get a little more disrespectful. We're going to go for it. And to have the goal to go for it in that moment with the situation, that means he's tapped in. But I think that's what we can use as a backbreaker for teams when it's like they think they're getting momentum and we're doing fake field goals when we don't need to, or fake punts when we don't lose that edge, because I think that gives Marcus Freeman that coaching mentality of we're not taking the foot off their neck, not putting in the subs on offense and we just running the clock out. See, that's not the same. It's not the same aggressiveness. So that's my third key. Give us a special teams experience. I don't know if it's going to be a fake or just have a good day on special teams, but those are my 3 keys.
3 keys from Malik, brought to you every week right here, Lucky Lefty podcast, courtesy of Honora Whiskey. Now, let's get into the offensive side for Notre Dame. They are on a roll, 112 points in the last 2 games. Man, a total of 36 explosive plays 19 via the pass. No, 19 via the run, 17 via the pass in the last 2 games. That's impressive as well. They're sixth in the nation with 44 points per game, 13th in the nation in total yards per game at 484, third in the nation points per play, which means, hey, they're not going on the elongated drives that we saw last year from Riley Leonard. They are getting it done efficiently at 0.664 points per play. That's third in the nation. Yards per play, they're seventh in the nation at 7.3. You can attribute that to CJ Carr and his maturation in the passing game. Third down conversions, they have improved because they were middle of the road. But over the last 2 games, they've improved and climbed all the way up to 15th at 52.27% third down conversion. So, and in the red zone, they're 29th, scoring 94.12% of the time. When you hear those stats, Left, we've used superlatives all week talking about the Notre Dame offense. But when you hear those stats and you go back to Mike Denbrock, offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock, saying, I came here to build a top 5 offense. And a lot of people chuckled and laughed. Remember when people chuckled and laughed? He was like, yo, we got a top 5 defense. There's no reason why we can't have a top 5 offense.
Have a top 5 offense. Yes.
And now we're looking at these numbers.
And we knew when he said it, he saw the potential. It was just a little early, but he was just trying to foretell what was coming to now because, like me and SD told you guys, there were 2 guys on the roster way back when that we saw the exact differences between where we can be offensively and where we're holding ourselves offensively to be. So now that it's happening, Denbrock's like, yeah, I've been telling you, we got the dudes. It's just what he said in the beginning of spring this year. He said, okay, this is the second year, and we're adding to what our foundation was last year. He was telling you the steps. He was like, look, guys, I believe in the top 5 offense that we can build here because of what I'm looking at. But the first year is like foundation stuff. Like we just, it ain't going to look like the finished product. Now he's saying this is the next year. Everybody's comfortable. And they're playing comfortable. So comfortable that the game plan looks simple. The stuff that we was begging us to do for Riley early on, just be simple and call basic stuff, our masterful way of calling plays make it look simple now. I mean, like, come on, we're running left, right, and then it's a one-on-one to CJ with CJ and Malachi Fields, or it's a one-on-one to Faison getting them screens, and then we back to running the ball. I mean, this is not, pre-calc, which I thought was hard. Pre-calc was hard for me. This is more like your...
That was hard to you?
Man,
it was trigonometry for me, bro.
Yeah, trig is, because then they start making stuff up. I feel like trig, they make stuff up.
I will say this. One of my hardest classes ever at the University of Illinois, they don't call it a weed out course. I used to laugh at all my friends that were engineering majors, bro, because that engineering 102 was a weed out course.
Yeah, like it wasn't built.
They were trying to get freshmen up out of there quick. But they had to take it. First semester, which was crazy, right?
Yeah, let's run you through this.
Man, I had math 125, bro. Business calculus and matrices, bro. With a focus on agriculture. First class I went to get help ever, dog.
Were you like legit had to seek out the TA? Like, I need some time outside.
Seek out the TA and talk to a tutor, bro. Like, hey, man.
Like, even the TA's info, you had to get broken down another way because it was just not hitting you. That's how sometimes some subjects are like that, where they just not hitting you, and they're literally spelling it out for you. You're just like,
And when you have a class where the TA is better, you would rather go to the TA than listen to the professor. Like, I don't even want to listen to you lecture. I would rather just go to the sessions with the TA.
It was only like that because it was a language barrier.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because this lady, dude, the way she explained it in lecture, it was like
no chance.
No, I'll take my shot with the TA. And Fortunately,
you still
CJ.
gonna try it.
Fortunately, CJ has a great professor and a pretty good TA.
I like
The
how you did
professor that is Mike
Right.
Denbrock and Gino Gaduli is the TA. And they have done, it's obvious that he's grasped whatever it is that they've been throwing at him. And that's why you see these numbers and Notre Dame being right there as a top 5 offense. It's really a joy to watch, bro. It's really a joy to watch.
And I think we should appreciate it more, guys, because this is not easy. Hello. I mean, we've been complaining so much about receiving.
They're making it look easy, though. They're making it look easy, though.
To the point where we're attacking the defense like the defense can't be regular. I mean, not regular, but like, I know we were way worse offensively from a fan's perspective than how we are today. And I don't think we're talking about that first. We're talking about defense first. And I'm like, wait a minute, let's talk about offense first. Defense is gonna come along.
Yeah. 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 I get you. Which is crazy because the very next class after Math 125, when I got through that, was Math 134. And that was the trig class, and I was good. I was good. Just because I love trigonometry, and yeah, I was good.
It's always something you're not used to first that you got to get through before you're like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, and then I'm taking, me. I'm in the school of business, dude. All of my boys are taking like Math 112 their first semester, and I'm like, dog, y'all did this in high school. Like this is regular algebra, like 2x equals 8. What is
they really taking general ed classes? Like, wait a minute.
I'm like, what? And I'm the only one that's like, no, I'm taking the full 18. I'm getting up out of here. Give me Econ 102 to jump off. Give me Math 125 right after that.
Start? Oh,
yeah. I jumped right into my stuff. Right into it. Right. I would never advise anybody else to do it.
Because that's what make it hard is that you're doing all at the same time. It's not necessarily the class. You taking 3 of the toughest classes at the same time.
But dude, I was talking to my GC and he was like, okay, this is the schedule of classes you should take. And I'm like, all right, put me in those.
Not aware of what it is for real.
Nobody was telling me like, man, ease yourself in your first semester and get used to being a college student. No, like even the way I set up my schedule, bro. I set up my schedule like I was still in high school. I was like,
8 o'clock.
Dude, 8 o'clock, Econ 102 at 8, and then I finish at 2:30. I did it just like I was going to just transition. And I'm like, dude, this is for the birds, man.
Oh
this is for the birds.
You done, and people like, oh, I got a little class to go to, art outside or something. You like, wait a minute. Y'all just spreading it out?
I had, dude, that was the dumbest thing. I had Econ 102, Math 125, and CS 105, which was Computer Science 105. I have no clue why I took those 3 classes fresh out the box. All glory be to God, bro.
That's right. That's what it takes.
I got through. I got through, bro. And that's why my social life was much better second semester, bro.
See, because you done cleared the stress.
I went to parties second semester and was like, you go to this school? Man, I haven't seen you. I didn't even know.
My head's been in the book so much, man. That's Notre Dame. I just tell that example is Notre Dame.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because all of the classes, the general ed coming into Notre Dame classes are weed out classes. Like you hear these science majors coming in here being like, no, I got to take Calc 102 and it's 500 people and they're trying to get people out of there. It's like studying, they're going to give you something that is too much that you like, I don't want to do it,
Dude, my boys that stayed across from me, they had a triple. I roomed with my roommate Thomas. My boys that stayed across from me, my boy George from Schaumburg, Illinois. My boy Greg was from Cincinnati. And my boy Chinton, I'm cool. I'm still cool with these dudes to this day. Chinton was from Virginia, but he was a huge North Carolina fan, right? Yeah. So they were all engineering majors, bro. Dude, Thursday night, if you walked into their room, the tension was crazy because they had to go take the test on a computer. You had to log into the computer, take the test, and then you had a timer because it was a time test, and then you would find out whether or not you failed. Like they would have to go back to the engineer building that afternoon to find out their score. It was crazy, and they would be in that stress.
Yeah,
bro.
That's how they. They would have to wait and have to go like see the results on like at the. They did the same thing. I know because I would be like,
yes,
dude. Super stressed. And
crazy.
The engineering library is always different than the general library. The engineering library is like the morgue. Like you can hear your
pin drop. Yes.
Yeah, like people are in there like there is no talking. Like you're not ain't even no windows in there. Like they are serious. You go to the general, library, it's everybody in there. It's a party, not in that engineering.
Yo, now over the last 2 weeks, you can say what you want to say, dude, but these numbers defensively they've moved. I'll say this. They're a top 75 defense, bro. They've improved.
Thank you. We was at 130 something. Like what?
They're out of the hundreds. They're out of the hundreds, Left. They're out of the hundreds. Points per game, they're giving up 27.8. That's 78th in the nation. Opponents' yards per game, 73rd. 389. Why we're celebrating this, I don't know, but we are celebrating this because they've come a long way. A mighty, mighty long way, as the old deacons used to say.
Is a long way, guys. Out the hundreds is a long way for one game to change it. So,
yes, sir. Opponents' points per play, 80th in the nation. Opponents' yards per play, 78th in the nation at 5.7. Opponents' third down conversion, 55th in the nation at 37%. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are pretty good on third down. Because if you're at 37% defensively and you sit at 55th in the nation, that's saying something.
Yeah,
that's saying something.
It just shows that for us to make those leaps and bounds, we already had it in us. Mm-hmm. It's like, you make your biggest gains early. And then when we start showing a consistency of doing this every week, then it'll be the marginal move ups and stuff. So I do think that this is just the respect college football is giving us back of, okay, we tried to jump on y'all early. Y'all really the team that we thought y'all would be. Because I'm like, Vegas had us going undefeated. So how we go undefeated and drop so far in the rankings that fast? Like, come on, guys. Like, so we're just getting back to who we are. The biggest benefit of Notre Dame and being a Notre Dame fan, especially the last 20 years, well, I would say 15 years, is that no matter what the Notre Dame team is looking like, it's always better when it comes to November, October, and late in the season. Whenever we struggling, it's always most likely in September or early quarter of the season. Most times we lose in games, though, is the very early. Where we see success at most of the time is when everybody else starts falling off. So that just shows you where our character is that we get greater later. That's the truth. We have yet to have a moment of falling off when the season started getting on the line. I don't remember the last time.
I don't know. Your crew,
y'all, 16. Yeah, 16.
You all will fold out at Stanford. Y'all were going to the Kelly crew will go into that Stanford game with everything on the line and just fold.
We didn't lose that. Oh, man. Okay, but it was literally 4th and 15. There was only 2 plays left in the game, and we gave up an over the middle
pass. Yes.
And they rushed and kicked the field goal. It was over. It was that fast. It wasn't like we was just getting killed or nothing. It was just they had really good. It looked like the Browns clock management. They threw it over the field. They ran out. They kneed it and kicked it. It was like nothing we could do. It was too fast. But we did choke when we shouldn't have lost. And you know what was messed up about that game? Nobody was there.
They had no home field advantage at all.
No, nobody came. It literally was people in the stands reading books and stuff. Like that was the joke. but it was really like that. It almost felt like a high school game. And we lost. And I'm talking about we win that one. They have to do the BCS. We probably get in over maybe Alabama. We probably, it would have. We were right there. So losing that game definitely was like, yeah, that's probably the last time. Yeah. Whenever that Florida, I think the change was that Florida State game. But that was early. That was our first big game.
That was my mother's. We were at Morton Steakhouse for my mother's birthday dinner. I was dipping out of her birthday dinner to go to the bar to watch the game.
Because it got crazy. It got crazy. It was getting crazy.
Yes.
It was getting crazy. Yeah.
Yes. And I remember pulling my darn calf, jumping when Ed threw the touchdown and didn't see the penalty. Like, you got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah. It was like a movie because that penalty was like movie-like because it was over. We had it. And they meet up and it was tough. What a game.
So I got some more stats. I have a stat that bodes well for this week, Notre Dame fans. And I'm not talking about the offense. I'm talking about the defense. Notre Dame is giving up 3.8 yards per rush on the season. They rank 38th in the nation, giving up 120.8 yards on the ground. But I have a stat in the pass defense that's going to make you feel better if they can continue to be fundamentally sound. Are you ready for it, Left?
I need it.
Notre Dame ranks 21st in the nation in opponent completion percentage. So they've been pretty good in coverage.
Yeah.
But when they're bad, they're bad.
What's the opposite stat to that then? Because whatever that opposite stat is, why we're probably, facing.
The other passing stats are pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
Like,
but that's
stat, right? It's not the fact that the coverage has been that bad. It's when they do have the coverage bust.
It goes for touchdowns and big
plays. Absolutely. Just play to play. They've done a pretty good job defending the pass from a completion percentage standpoint. They're 21st in the nation.
And it shows that we're there. We just got to either make a play or we have a mental error where we're not there and it's a big play. It's Absolutely. Not that we're, the things are fixable. Because if that's the case, 21% means that you doing your job. You just got to break the ball up or get a better position in for a tackle or whatever. But coachable things.
Yes.
Having one TFL in a Texas A&M game, that's a lot more complicated. That's something that is a lot of things need to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about addressing it, look at the way that we shut down the run game in the second half. That's the excitement that people need to be encouraged by, because if we can do that and repeat it for the whole game, they'll leave Chris Ash alone.
I mean, look at that last drive at Texas A&M, right? It was one big play. Then you should have been a pick. They had an opportunity to pick the ball off. They had two passes defended. Then they had the big penalty, right? Then they gave up a big run to Marcel Reed. It wasn't like they were just methodically moving the ball down the field. They had one really big pass play in that drive, mixed in with some other things, and then they get the fourth down play on 4th and 11. And so that's how it's been, man. Notre Dame just gives up these huge plays, and it's frustrating. But on a down-to-down basis as a pass defense, the secondary still does a pretty good job defending when you're only giving up 56% completion percentage. But here are the two stats that you will want that fly in the face of that. Yards per pass. They are 89th in the nation, giving up 7.7 yards per completion. And sack percentage, they are 100th in the nation because they're not getting pressure, which means when they aren't good in coverage, they can't cover it up with pressure on the quarterback because they're bad at creating pressure at 4.14. Conversely,
yes,
Boise State, one of the good things about them and why their pass defense is 42nd in the nation is that their sack rate is 4th in the nation. Every 1 out of every 8 times someone drops back against Boise State, they come up with the sack. And so there you have it. You're giving up chunk plays when you do give up plays, and you don't create pressure. Because most people would think these DBs, what happened to the DBs? They're still pretty good in coverage for the most part.
Pretty good. They're still pretty good.
They're
and the young guys are solid. And we saw some potential with the young guys. So
yes,
Mike Mickens is still doing his job, guys. Don't
he didn't all of a sudden become terrible at his job. You know what I mean? And we get some pressure up front to help and assist, which they might not be as elite as they were last year, but they're still good.
They don't have to be elite because the unit, if they play together, can be elite. That was our superpower last year. I couldn't point to a particular. Well, we had some really good players, but it wasn't a particular thing that made us good. We just played great as a team, especially in the playoffs. All 3 phases were good. We still didn't give up. We still didn't get a lot of pressure in the playoffs, which killed us versus Ohio State because then they had matching talents, but then our weaknesses became way bigger because everything else was even, so. But that's the top of the top 1% of college football. Yeah. Everybody else, the issues we've always had was there all season last year. It just so happened the only team that could expose it was in the national championship game. Now, we still have some of the same problems in terms of creating pressure. But I just think that Arkansas game, guys made a decision to be better. I don't necessarily think it was the coaching because the coaching is the coaching. But I think guys, Jordan Patello, Traore, Anye, God, I didn't know how to say it. Jason Anye made decisions to play better because I feel like they felt themselves that first half of Arkansas was almost like a turning point. Was it going to be the, here we go again, we're giving up ample and anything they want, or are we going to be like, we're going to draw the line in the sand? We drew the line in the sand, I felt like, defensive line-wise, and it made a difference. I think that's going to help.
Yeah, like I said, man, the numbers bear it out, and they really do explain what's going on. And I have one other number. Let's look at this offense game. Let's dig into the numbers, right? Because it really is, like you said in your 3 keys, something has to give.
Something got to give. Yeah.
Something has to give. Notre Dame is averaging on the ground 177 yards per game. On the ground. Defensively.
Say that one more time.
177 yards. That's what Notre Dame is averaging on the ground. And it really would be more if you take out the Miami game.
Right.
But it's 177. Boise State is giving up 168 per game. That's 84th in the nation. So then you can check that box for Notre Dame. Like, okay, that trend.
Check that box. Right? You're right.
That trend. They're giving up 4.5 yards a pop defensively, Boise State. 4.5 yards per pop. Notre Dame is averaging 4.9. Yeah, so check that box. Like, it's trending in a way that, once again, Notre Dame is ready to pop something off in this run game. And you expect Boise State, who loves to pressure. I said this on the show yesterday, Left.
Yep.
I think Boise State is going to try to break trend in this game. And what I mean by that is
Really?
they like to get you to third and medium, right? They just want to hold you up and play. Don't give up the big runs. Get you to third down, and then they can get into their pressure packages. I think they're going to invert that. I think we're going to see a lot of pressures on first and second down, trying to get Notre Dame to third and long. And I think we're going to hear from Jawan Sider where he expects them to be lit up this week by Boise State. You're going to hear from Jawan Sider talking about that and how important pass pro is going to be for his running backs this week. That's
and also got to plug Players Only podcast with Terrence Howard explaining how pass pro and what makes it challenging and how guys can do it better, and also what he likes about the guys we have in pass pro.
Yeah.
Had to plug that in there. You know?
Man, great interview. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you just want to hear the audio's over at patreon.com. So go check it out. Lucky Lefty Network. That's something you really have to think about. And so for me, it starts with the run game, but I really do believe Boise State, this is their playoff elimination game.
Who, Boise State?
Yeah. Even if they win the Mountain West, they have to be the best team in the G5 to have a shot at the playoff. They can't be whoever the best team is in the G5, that's who gets the bid to the playoff.
Oh, so
that's who Boise State. Yeah, it's big. You have to have a win. This would definitely be the best win in G5.
I mean, Notre Dame's
the golden game.
Man, we're the golden ticket for all these teams. Texas A&M's using it. Cincinnati used it that when they had Desmond Ridder. Miami's using it now to hoist them in the top 10 because I don't think they're a top 10 team. But, it's Notre Dame's a golden ticket. Remember when literally the same situation we were in when Cincinnati came to Notre Dame, and that was like a playoff game. We knew that was the playoff game because we were looking at schedules just like this year. Now, the difference is I think the playoff system is a little bit better for grading who deserves to be in there. Because, 12 teams is a lot of teams that you got to say, okay, they all can't be the best top 4 teams. This is like, we can get in. We can get in. Our offense, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
Notre Dame, speaking of third down, is once again 15th in the nation on third down conversion. That's pretty good.
Conversely, and our third downs are third and short most of the time. That's why.
Yes.
We had a lot of third and short situations.
Yes.
Conversely, it's crazy.
Boise State is 51st in the nation in third down conversion. So once again, that's literally the inverse. Notre Dame is 15th on third downs. Boise State defensively is 51st on third down. So third down and what third down looks like. Not just third down. What does third down look like? Because you saw against Arkansas. Yo, they can pop you on a 3rd and 7 with Jeremiah Love, and it's like
deflating. We had a lot of deflating plays for Arkansas where they just like, that's too good. We just, I love when you beating the team and then in the press conference, they start running and talking about roster and how much people paying for rosters and stuff. They hit you with the Matt Rule. Well, guys, we're finally competing because we got some money. And no. They ran up the middle the whole time on you. So for us, I don't want to hear once we start smashing teams 40, 50 points a game, somehow, it's a paying thing. No, we still do it the right way. Now, we do give up the money now. We ain't just nickel and diming people, but we may not be a $40 million roster, which I still think it leaves in the stratosphere of college football if we can win this way, where we don't need a $40 million roster to get there. I think that still changes college football landscape. And it gives the non-excuses, takes those excuses away from Matt Rule and the others that, act like if you're not in a $40 million roster game, there's no point of even coaching. That's how they make it seem.
Yeah.
That's how they make it seem. Well, we ain't $40 million. We just here to be here. No. You still got to be competitive.
That's why I said Mike Gundy wanted out.
Oh,
when he said that, going up to Oregon, I was like, oh.
Because he literally just got a job the next day. Like, it wasn't like he's employed at another school in the middle of the season. Like, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he was ready. His agent was like, oh, yeah, I got you an analyst gig. Something you can do. He was like, yeah, get me out of here. Let me go ahead. I'll do this press conference. I'll start the ball rolling.
I'll start the ball rolling.
I'll give them a reason they need. I'll give them every reason they need to get me up out of here. Absolutely. Here is the golden ticket for this game, Left. Here's the golden ticket for this game when it comes down to the stats. Literally, this is what it comes down to. It's going to be a perfect segue into Jawan Sider. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Boise State is 18th in the nation in quarterback sacks, and they are 4th in the nation in sacking the quarterback. That's it. They don't give up sacks, and they sack the quarterback. Yeah. That's Boise State. That's Boise State.
Boise State. That's who they are.
They want to rattle CJ Carr and run the ball and play action. That's what they want to do.
Breaking trends didn't make sense. Breaking trends.
If you allow them to do that, if they are allowed to hold those numbers in this game, it could get tricky late.
It's going to be
tough and tricky. It'll be tough and tricky. So Notre Dame.
That's what ends games. Sacks and can't get sacks. That's what's been killing us the 2 games we lost. Can't get a sack. So
yes. Absolutely.
That is the game. Golly, I didn't even think about that.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. That's what they do well. It's really simple. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Go to FanDuel. We are presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com, or you can download the FanDuel app. Man, if you go there, of course, Notre Dame is a 20.5-point favorite with the over-under total at 62.5. But even more impressive is, the respect that CJ Carr is now garnering at the sports books, because his over-under total is 263 yards through the air.
Ooh,
260.
They put it up. They had to. They had to put it up.
It's much different. Much different. Maddox Matson for Boise State. 215.5. 215.5 is his under total. So,
but we know CJ can print off in his sleep 230. We've been doing that every game. Like, that's win, loss, or draw. We've been doing that. But it just shows you, it made me sound crazy because we were used to 150 a game in wins where we're scoring 40-point differential. So I'm excited because I know CJ can do
it. Yeah, I agree with that. And interesting question, very interesting question about Boise State in the chat. And I understand why people grab that. It's a little bit of low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. But you need to go watch Braxton Feely play, and you need to go watch Jaden Virgin Morgan play. And Max Stager. See, because this is not Purdue. Purdue also was able to rush the passer by the numbers.
Yep.
But over 60% of their sacks came from their linebackers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not the case of Boise State. They have a perimeter guy and an interior guy that can get after the quarterback. Doesn't matter who they've played. It doesn't matter. For that sake, how does that Notre Dame offensive line look? Not good in pass pro. Because they went up against an Arkansas defensive line that hasn't produced pressure against anybody. And when they've actually faced teams that can rush the passer in the front four, they've struggled. So who Boise State has played doesn't matter. They have guys that can get after the passer.
Yeah.
They have guys that can get after the passer.
Where are we?
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Sacks. Are we? You said we're 70-something and
100th in getting sacks. We're ranked 100th in the nation. 100th in the nation. 1 out of every 24 dropbacks.
That's the worst stat we have, probably. Yeah, that's the worst stat we have. But that's in the it's only 132 teams.
Hey, that number has improved, bro. These numbers have improved. That's all I'm saying.
My gosh. That is at Washington. That's an indictment.
I feel like we need to be grateful. I think we need to go into this game with a grateful heart as Notre Dame fans. I think we need to enter into his gates with thanksgiving and enter his courts with praise. We have to do that this weekend, bro. We have to. Because he's been good to us against Purdue in the second half. He's been good to us against the Razorbacks all game long. He's been good. He's been good.
100 though is not. Come on, that's not acceptable.
Hey man, you gotta have a praise. You gotta have a good praise. Sometimes you gotta have a good praise down on the inside of you, even when it's a storm in your life. Even when it's a storm in your life and it looks darkest before the dawn of day, you got to be able to praise your way through it. You can't give up right before your breakthrough. Come on, Notre Dame fans, you can't give up on this defense.
I want to know the teams around that 100 area that we like. Who are these teams?
I'm trying to encourage their hearts today, right now, Left. I'm trying to preach to them and encourage their hearts to hold on. Don't let go of the rope. If you reach up, just like Peter when he was sinking, if you reach up, he'll grab you and pull you up. Mike Dickens got a lot of reaching. We reaching from the far bottom. Reach down, Notre Dame fans, and pull you up when you feel like you're sinking.
Dude, we're down there. Oh my goodness, that's
Al Washington is going to reach down and pull you up.
He sent the shit back, Bella. He dropped the anchor on us. He didn't drop the anchor. We just keep going. Like, cut the anchor. Let us float back up. We gotta figure that out. Oh my God, 100 is so bad. That's like, MAC teams are included in that ranking as well. That's a part of the 132. Conference USA teams are included in the 132 teams. Like, Mountain West.
I wish I had my organ. I'll be playing my organ right now, tuning up a little bit.
I'm only saying that because we were so excited about guys that weren't necessarily starters playing in the playoffs, being productive, coming back healthy, guys that missed out that were starters, and then to be that far down is just.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why we 0-2 early.
Don't lose hope.
No, we're getting better though. You know, that was
don't lose hope. Yes,
we're actually getting better.
You're darn right. Lucky Lefty podcast. All right, it's time to hear from the Notre Dame players. But before we hear from them, let's go ahead and hear from running back coach Juwan Sider. I just want to say, Coach Sider, you made the right move, man. You left them the litany, not the Nittany Lions, the litany, because they have a litany of problems. The Litany Lions, or the Little Lions up there at Penn State. You made the right move, Coach. He talked about his running back room and how they look. And what's the ceiling for Jeremiah Love? Coach Sider.
Limit. We still progressing. I think we to the point now we see eye to eye. Different philosophy of coaching. I think we adapted, and I think there's a lot of room for growth. I mean, I think we just really getting started.
And then we've seen Nolan and Aeneas play the last couple games. How's kind of their development, and could they earn that third spot?
I mean, they already there. I mean, they compete every week is competition. And it's really a testament to the kids, right? They pushing each other. Nobody's settling. And they understand. They got two really good players in front of them. I mean, not too many times you got a generation-type talent that's playing, and then you got another kid that's playing as good as anybody in the country. So opportunities there is just – it's been limited right now. But they'll be prepared. They prepare every week like they starters. Aeneas doing a great job of handling it, not being a selfish teammate. Like, he understands his role. Because I say, hey, the role reversed. What if that was you? So he understands that aspect of it. And he's ready. I mean, he's ready. I feel comfortable getting him in the game. I mean, he was nicked up early, so now he's back healthy. Nolan James is just truly really happy with his growth and his development. He put himself in a position where he's competing. I got no problem putting him in the game. I mean, I think he's ready right now as a true freshman. So I coached a lot of freshmen that played early, and I think he's right there with a lot of them.
Aeneas Williams is still my favorite player.
Yes, we know, Left. We know.
Don't say what if the roles are reversed. Come on, man. You know, because the thing is, we know we can get him in there a little more if we wanted to. Like, it ain't like
he has been injured. He has been injured. He's getting healthy.
Yeah, I feel like he's still a really good fit for where the room is right now. And it's like, I'm sure it was hard to explain how he had to take a little less because, you know, he was rolling. So in his mind, he like, just need to stack on this year. But I think Coach ZAIRE is doing the right thing because whatever he's telling him is keeping him locked in because he played well when he got in last game. But also, I do appreciate his understanding of how we still need to get the most out of the two that are just where they are right now. I mean, if anything, Aeneas is in a great spot. It's just it's a mental thing for him. It's not about his ability. You just happen to have literally two of the top 5 running backs in the country. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
Lucky Lefty podcast.
But I do like that he mentioned real quick. I do like that he mentioned that he gained the trust with those guys, right? You know, because what does Coach ZAIRE go in there and say? At that point, the boys have already gotten to a certain level, and for Coach ZAIRE to bring his expertise and they understand each other, it just is cool to see how expectations and standards meet with ZAIRE and the running backs.
Yeah. So look, Joe 773 batters. Look, I'm gonna tell you again, because if you're gonna do this to Boise State, then do it to Notre Dame, because they ain't beat nobody. And their 2 best offensive games have been against scrub teams. CJ Carr's 2 best games have been against scrub teams. If you're going to use this logic, CJ Carr ain't beat nobody. He ain't beat nobody yet. He ain't proven nothing yet. Yeah, no.
Don't say that.
No, we're going to be fair.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can. I told you I'll take all the arrows this week. You don't have to say a thing. I'll say it. He hasn't beaten a good team yet.
You can't say he hasn't beaten a good team. No.
He hasn't beaten a good team
yet. We
got
to talk about the 1,000 yards.
That's fact.
4 games.
No. Left, shut up. Don't mention. Hush, Left. Hush. Because when you open this door about who people play and who people have beaten, you have to be fair across the board with it. You have to be fair. So if we're going to sit up here and say, you can't say, well, who have they put up their stats again? Who have they played? They lost to Southern Florida, then they beat Eastern Washington, then they beat Air Force, then they beat App State. Who has CJ Carr beat? Who has he put up his best stats against? It would have to be fair. We have to be fair. I'm not about to diminish. I'll go a step further. Everybody in the country doubted Notre Dame because they didn't beat anybody after they lost to Northern Illinois last year. That was the whole thing going to the playoffs. They haven't played anybody. They gave up 35 points to a bad USC team. That defense can't be as good as they supposed to be. That's what everybody was saying. Right? That's what everybody was saying. What did it mean to Notre Dame? Not a darn thing.
Right. Not a darn thing.
Not a darn thing. Who you played is for fans. Who you played is for fans. Because good teams bring it. They are who they are, regardless of the opponent. I'm telling you, the 3 defensive linemen that I named that also balled out last year on Boise State's team can ball.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. I watched them against Penn State. They can play. They're good players. So just because they played some sorry teams after they played South Florida, don't think that their stats don't matter. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you do that, then you have to do that to everybody else. You gotta do it to everybody else. And I don't do that to CJ. I don't do it to CJ.
Yeah, we don't do it to CJ. Yeah.
I don't dismiss CJ's numbers because the bulk of them have been done. Well, no, he had 292 against Texas A&M.
Right.
But the bulk of his numbers,
no turnover and all type of stuff. So,
but his best 2 games have been against
his last
2 really bad passing defense, right? And I've heard people try to dismiss, well, he didn't do it against Miami. You know, if Kenny would have played against Miami, they would have won, all that foolishness. It's like, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Who he is who he is.
Right.
Who Boise State is, that's who they are.
Right.
Hey, 2 weeks ago, Notre Dame was a defense in the hundreds. This week, they are a defense in the 70s and 60s.
Yeah, we getting
that's who they are this week.
Nobody. Yes, they are this
right.
week.
Yeah. So they've improved. So then, if you're going to use that logic, did they improve against any good? I mean, they played 2 bad teams. Is that how they improved their defensive stats?
Yeah,
you can't.
That's what you always have.
Yeah,
you just have to leave it always at we're playing who's on the schedule. Because
who's on the schedule, man.
You can pick apart who it is and this and that,
and you have to be you.
Got to be you, because I do know it's hard, regardless of good or bad team, to do certain things week to week. Scoring 40 to 50 points week to week, regardless of who you're playing, is a hard thing to accomplish. So when you talk about top teams and when you talk about, the things that you can use as non-excuses when people try to throw in you didn't play this or that, dude, who can score 40 on some of these teams that are good or bad? I mean, as much as y'all love Texas A&M, they got 41 put against them. So it's like, yeah, they beat us, but they gave up. So I think that that's why the way we have to win is so important, because it can't just be us beating a Virginia by 14. Unfortunately, that's not credited to the minds of people as a good enough win. We got to beat Virginia by 35 points.
Man.
Just for them to tell us then, oh, they're nobodies. They're da-da-da-da. Well, they beat Florida State when they was ranked 8. So come on. Come on.
Why is Pass Pro? We gave you the stats for Boise State. They sack the quarterback. They protect the quarterback.
That's the game.
Coach Sider said, my running backs, they have to be ready for what they're going to bring this week. And he talks about
haven't been challenged that much. We had 2 that we just blankly missed. So it's just you're trying to play too fast, trying to get into a route. But the Pass Pro this year has been really easy. We'll be challenged this week. Played against Boise last year in the Fiesta Bowl, and they try to heat us up. We'll be prepared for it.
Coach, J.J. Carr has been developing quickly in this offense. From your perspective, how has he made the run game balanced?
Well, I think, so many times you get judged as a quarterback on checking the right read in the pass, right? But to me, it's also in the run game. Like, he getting us in the right checks. We got to overload here, we need to kill it to go away from it, or we got some looks that we want to check into. He done a phenomenal job. I mean, to me, but he prepares that way. Like, he's in the office as early as we are. Like, he's sitting in there waiting on Gino, soaking it in like a sponge. He got good questions, and he's ahead of time. He ahead of his time. You can tell he's a coach's kid, been around the game. He has that approach you look for as in a quarterback. I mean, he's just so poised. I always say playing that position and coaching that position in the past, like anytime a kid can stand in pressure and keep his eyes downfield and not in oblivious to everybody around him, he got a chance to be special. And I think CJ has that ability.
First of all, a little insider. They didn't used to let the quarterbacks be up there and be at meetings and all that because, that was BK era. So I am glad that a little bit more of a relationship in.
What do you mean by that? You weren't allowed into the meetings?
Word for word when he said CJ's up there waiting in the offices for Gino and da 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 da. and having good input and listening and soaking it up. We couldn't do that because I was trying to do that back in the day. And they was like, no, we can't. We'll see you at we got meetings and all type of stuff. So I'm glad that relationship has changed to where he can go and do that because that wasn't available before. So, I'm glad that CJ has found the secrets because I always thought that was one of the secrets into really taking that next step. You got to be involved in that stuff. You know what I mean? Because regardless of them giving you a game plan, you got to know what's going on in the thought process behind why we're even going that direction. So that's why I always thought it was important. I'm not trying to be in the coach's direct meetings, but like I'm in Gino's office or Matt LaFleur's office early, knocking on Sanford's door early because I'm trying to get the script before the script comes out. You know what I mean? So I can be prepared for practice and know like what I'm looking at. Because when you're doing film study, you don't want your film study and the things you're looking at to be counter of the game plan. I may be thinking, oh, I would love this play and this looks like this and this player da-da-da. But if they're not talking about that in the coaches meeting, it just never gets communicated, right? So the preparation CJ's doing, it goes to the poise. You only get good poise in the pocket when you're not worried about things that you don't know, right? When he knows what's going on, you can sit back there and do the things he's doing. So it's cool because Coach ZAIRE was a quarterback when he played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he gets it. You know what I mean? Like he can convey information that CJ's maybe thinking and not saying to a Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, especially when it comes to pass protection. So I think it's pretty smart. And you could trust a guy like Coach ZAIRE that for anything, the coaching on how to have good pass protection is going to be there. Because Coach ZAIRE used to be a quarterback. You know what I mean? So the things that a running back learns it is not the same as a quarterback learns.
Especially when you're talking about teams that bring different pressures, right? They give you the look like the pressure's coming in one direction when it's really coming from another direction. And so being able to read that from the backfield as you stand next to CJ, that's a huge advantage. And I think that's something Jawan Sider said that he was going to bring to the running back room. And like he said, he pointed out 2 occasions where they kind of messed up assignments or missed assignments in pass pro throughout the season. And in doing that, he said it just basically was us trying to get out to routes and not be impatient. So they've improved drastically in that particular area of pass pro throughout the season. They really have, Notre Dame fans. They have improved drastically. And this, I love this conversation. Like Gavin Wright says, he didn't beat Miami and A&M, but he wasn't the reason we lost the game. Stop that. I'm going to say this respectfully.
See?
No,
That's
why
Left,
you hush. Put yourself on mute. Put yourself on mute. Because I'm not this narrative of Left hates it. CJ is not, I'm taking all the arrows this week. I thank you, Gavin, for that response. Once again, when a fact is stated, we have to stop trying to protect CJ because the word blame was never used in what we said. No one said anything close to blame. The fact is, the 2 good teams he faced, he has not beat. And he has not beaten a good team. He's a much better quarterback than his predecessor. But you know what his predecessor did? Found a way to beat other good teams with less on offense. He had a much better defense, but his predecessor had a whole lot less in weapons on offense. That's just a fact. And his offensive line was worse than the offensive line this year. That's just a fact. And we have to be fair. And someone in the chat said, it is a fact that at 2 pivotal points late in both games, where Notre Dame had the momentum and a chance to take the lead, against Miami or tie it up against Miami, and a chance to extend to a double-digit lead against Texas A&M. Turnovers took place. Even with the bad defense against Texas A&M in the third quarter, they were headed in to take a double-digit lead when his turnover took place. You can't remove that, and you just can't excuse it. It's part of the final outcome. It changed the whole momentum in the game, and we need to just be honest about those things, and it's okay. Nobody's blaming him for anything. I think everybody, if we're going to cut this up into pie, the smallest pie of whatever, accountability would be slid to CJ Carr on this season, and it probably would sit at right about 10 to 15%. The defense would get 50%. The coaches would probably get 30 to 35%. The offensive line would probably get, I'm off on my numbers. So I'll give the coaches 30%, the defense 40%, the offensive line, they would get 20%, and I'll give CJ 10%. Yes, that's a full pie. And if you want to take a slither off of CJ's 10% and give 2% to Tyler Buckner, by all means, give him 2% for screwing up at the end of the Texas A&M game. Let us be clear. The last issue in this season has been CJ Carr. But we are not about to just throw a blanket and cloak over him like he has absolutely no accountability or nothing to do.
Right. That's all we're saying.
With the record being 2-2. That's all we're saying. It's like, dude, that's it. So it's almost like we feel like we have to protect him. Like, no, we can't say anything bad about him. No, you can't blame him. Nobody's blaming him. We're just pointing out facts. These are facts that
these
took
same
place.
facts can help us have a realistic view and depiction of where we can get better, even in wins.
And you can use that fact. You can use the fact of both turnovers to point out just how mentally strong he is, because he came back from both and led the team back.
That's right.
It's literally a strength. That which was meant for evil. Don't make me preach up in here. You can turn it for CJ's good. Despite the 2 turnovers, he gathered the troops and led them back, tied the game against Miami, and took the lead against Texas A&M. But you can't talk about that, him being able to do that, if you don't talk about the mistakes as well. And it's okay. It's okay to talk about both. But he has a small piece of the pie of accountability in this season. The smallest of pieces. I'm going to say it again. The smallest of pieces of that pie comes from CJ Carr. He's been phenomenal. He's top 3, top 5, first round talent, all of that. Now let's hear from Jordan Faison talking about the offense. Jordan Faison.
Athletic. He's got really long arms that he uses to, his ability. His ability to be able to play through the ball is great. You obviously saw that in that one Arkansas play where he played through the ball. But hell of a ball player, very athletic, good feet, good transition. He'll be a good player.
And then is there any friendly competitions in the receiver room at this point to see who can get the best block in the run game?
A little bit. Coach, has a little competition with us. Whoever can get more, might get a little dinner or something at the end of the season. But yeah, everyone has a mentality of, going in there and trying to knock your guy on his butt. And I think that helps our offense a lot and helps our run game, develop and hit big plays.
Hey Jordan, obviously you were such a big target over the weekend. Can you describe the chemistry in the wide receiver room and why it was clicking so well?
Yeah, we're all just developing. Everyone's got to be on the same plane to elevate as a room. And that connection also goes with our quarterbacks as well and with CJ. But having those reps over practice and building that trust and connection with our quarterback allows us to go out there and perform. Whenever the ball, he's going to put it in the spot, we got to make a play on it. Keep rolling.
See, I got to make a point. I got to make a point to this. This is where you get the connection between guys willing to play at a high level when they know that the ball's coming to them. I have never heard of our receivers talk about competing to block. No. They would give you half routes with Tyler Buckner, half routes, half effort under Riley Leonard, because they didn't have the confidence the football was coming to them. Now they out there blocking their tail off because guess what? The next play might be a bomb to them. Now that just shows you why the importance of why we need to develop a passing game, because now you have the whole team instead of just part of the team.
Yeah, I agree, Lef. They sound much different. The wide receivers sound much different going back over what we heard, just what? This is what we were hearing from wide receivers just 2 years ago.
Well, this is the fastest I've ever felt.
Just a short.
So I'm always going to feel the most confident in my speed. More than anything, I feel most confident in kind of my release packages more so now than the past. I want press that plays to my advantage, and being able to be technical at the line, and then being able to use my speed. It's a huge advantage to myself. It's not something that I've had in my arsenal as much in the past, whether it be my legs or my arms, whatever the issue is, or whether it be just lack of overall technique. But now, I feel that playing at the line of scrimmage with the DB plays to my advantage, because if I beat him at the line, I feel very few, if any, can run with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Braden Lindsey. That's Braden Lindsey 2 years ago talking about release packages. We're a long way from release packages. It's amazing how you can get off the line when you know. You're going to get the ball and the ball is going to be on target. when it's amazing how you're able to get off the line and get open. It's amazing how you run routes a little bit harder when you know you got a quarterback that can put it on the money. It's amazing how that works.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's funny. It's funny you didn't pull up. I thought you were going to pull up the clip where he was talking the highlights of the quarterback competition was.
When he was talking about how great of a runner Tyler Buckner is. Didn't mention one thing about the way he throws the football. Not one. And you got the running back coach Jawan Sider talking about CJ. Dude, you got Jordan Faison talking about CJ. Look, it's a fever.
It's a fever.
Yes, it's contagious. Everybody's catching the CJ fever, dude. Everybody. And when you have Jordan Faison, at the start of that, he was talking about Mark Zachary, talking about how he plays, how much better he's getting. And just to give you a heads up, everybody, Donovan Heinisch and Leonard Moore were upgraded to probable. Shoulder for Donovan Heinisch. Of course, the ankle for Leonard Moore. But they both were upgraded when Marcus Freeman spoke to the media today. So that's great to hear. I still think they could give him another week to rest up and get to 100%. But, he's probably ready to play, knowing Leonard Moore. He's ready to get out there. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Tate Johnson talking about,
his favorite player.
I just say for sure, the confidence in myself, that's the main thing. I always had confidence in myself, before I was even starting, even when I first came in. So, I feel like keeping that confidence and just keeping the drive to keep getting better and just come in every day and work as hard as I can. I feel like that's the reason for my success as of right now, and I know it's still steps for me to take to elevate, and I know I still got way more on the floor for myself. I got way more on the table for myself. So just coming in every day, working hard, and just knowing just knowing I'm confident in my ability and I'm confident in who I am. So just doing that every day and just focusing on one day at a time, trying to elevate.
And then has the game started to slow down for you at all? Because I mean, on Saturday it looked like you were flying around making plays and looked like you were comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. I would say I definitely had to get comfortable, like after Texas A&M and Purdue, with playing that amount of snaps, because I never played like a every down player snap. So I definitely had to get comfortable as far as that. And I feel like Arkansas, I definitely felt way more comfortable in the field, because I knew like I was a starter, so it kind of that kind of helps out a lot too, because you're going to play majority of the game, so that kind of helps out a lot. But yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable now, and I plan on just keep getting more comfortable and learning every game and just getting better every game. That's my plan, to just do more than I did the last. So
He's always been my favorite player because he said he wears 9, because his favorite player is Jalen Smith. That was my favorite player, so I already know he knows what he knows, and it's awesome when guys have reverence for the guys that come before them, because usually those guys understand the mission, so to speak, and they understand like the lineage of what it means to be there, and they usually play at a higher level because of it. So I'm excited to hear how he's talking about it, but he's always been a good player on the up and come up.
Well, the connection goes back to them both being young men from the south side of Fort Wayne. Both men are from the same side of Fort Wayne, relationship where their families knew each other from the same neighborhood. So the root to that runs deep. Definitely the root to that runs deep. We got a super chat. We appreciate it. MJH Irish 84. Bless you, my brother. Thank you for the super chat. Great show, fellas. We appreciate that. I think Tay Johnson, man, is really going to kind of begin to make all types of plays, bro. I think he's right there. He's just missed on some interceptions. He missed on one last week. The range, the athleticism, he's going to be a difference maker on the back end as they go through the remainder of this schedule, bro. He is a difference maker. But he has something to say about CJ Carr, and he also has something to say about his fellow Indiana boy, Mark Zachary.
He can put the ball anywhere, so no matter how tight you are in coverage, he'll be able to find a way to fit the ball in. So I feel like with CJ, you gotta have great technique. You just gotta be all over the play, and it helps us out a lot when we go against other dynamic quarterbacks, because we go against CJ every day, so he can make certain throws, a lot of quarterbacks in the country can't make. So just being across from CJ, even in the summer leading up to now, it's definitely helped me out a lot, for sure, just to learn how to read quarterbacks while I'm in the middle of the field, and just to learn how to know what the quarterback is thinking, because I talk to CJ a lot, I see you made that throw, just understand what the quarterback is thinking and understand what he's looking at. It helps us out in the back end.
And from your perspective in the secondary, what have you seen in improvements from Mark Zachary? I know he's kind of been having a larger role, and what have you seen from him out there?
Yeah, that's Marcus. That's my boy. We both from Indiana, so we've been had a relationship before this. So that's like a little brother to me, and I feel like the biggest thing with him was just getting comfortable. He was a true freshman. He was thrown into the fire. That's hard for a lot of people. So. We just knew we had to give him some time to get comfortable and grow. And I feel like he showed that last Saturday with his performance, So I feel like he's just going to keep growing and getting more comfortable. And, he's going to be a great player here. That's pretty much all I can say. I think I believed in him, He was on the field, so we believe in him. It's just all about getting comfortable. He was a true freshman, and I feel like he's comfortable now, so great things coming from him.
All I will say, is that boy looks like he needs to be putting up a Chicago Bears hat on while he shakes Roger Goodell's hand. I'll just say that. I'll just say that, Notre Dame fans. That's on my wish list years down the line. That Bronte Johnson shakes Roger Goodell's hand while he puts on the Chicago Bears hat. That's just all. Just something on my wish list. That's all. Lucky Lefty podcast. Mark Zachary joined the media and he talked about being thrown into the fire, just going through the process and what it's been like. Mark Zachary.
It's been a journey. Just coming in the summer, just knowing that I'm just competing for a spot, and then knowing for the first game that I would be going in if anybody went down. And then with just seeing Christian going down, I was kind of like, dang, Christian needs a sub, like he's going out. And then just a realization that I was the one going in. It was kind of the time to buckle my seatbelt and grow up a little bit. So that's been my process these past 4 weeks, just gradually getting better and just knowing that, trusting in Christian and Leonard to keep coaching me up in their positions. That's why I'm ready to be out there.
And then you spoke about Leonard and Christian helping you. What's allowed you to find success over the last 2 games?
Just preparing like a starter. I mean, getting the extra hours in, whether it's schoolwork or that. If I'm not doing schoolwork, I'm doing that. So just making sure I'm in there constantly. Coach Mickens getting a routine daily, just meeting with him and meeting with them is my daily routine. So just making sure I'm on top of that to be prepared like a starter when my opportunity presents itself.
I think what's so important about this kid is the fact that he's able to just survive and to stay in the moment. And I think that's important when you're going through these phases and these changes of staying in the moment, because there's so many things that can happen in the season that can throw you off. So to hear the confidence of these guys of staying in it it's just impressive for a team that many people would think fall apart because they didn't, quote unquote, live the expectations in the first 2 weeks.
I mean, that Texas A&M game, he did like literally get thrown into the fire. And shout out to Colin Klein for recognizing that Christian Gray was off the field. Like, yeah, he went right after the freshman. He went right after him. That's what you're supposed to do as a coach. And Chris Ash should have protected him more. But it is what it is. Hindsight is always 40-20, right? Mark Zachary, how have you gotten better? What have you done to get better?
Improved drastically, just my body as well, but mentally, especially just knowing, coming from a high school that we was just man. I was playing safety my senior year too, so just playing the back half, but knowing like splits, what they're doing, situations, when I'm in a situation, I feel like I've improved that way, and just being prepared for my opportunity again, like Leonard being out, just coming in and replacing him and just being prepared whenever my name is called. I feel like I'm getting better at that.
Man, I just realized when he said that, I just realized that he's replaced both Christian Gray and Leonard Moore.
Yeah.
On the season.
On the season.
He's replaced both starters in games on the season, man. Mike Mickens, you continue to do your magic work. You continue to do your magic, bro. Before we get out of here, this is my favorite. Ty Washington, who, man, it said that the players really wanted to win one for Ty Washington on his return to Arkansas last week, and they got the job done, needless to say. He was on the field a lot in 12 personnel. Man, he was blocking like he had a chip on his shoulder all game long. Really good job. And I love the fact that he stepped up to become that second tight end so they can diversify the formations, get into more 12 personnel and do some things and play action off of that along with running the ball. Now I want to see Ty Washington become part of the passing attack. And that should be coming along. But Ty Washington talked about the offense, how they gotten better, and then how he was being tested when he first got here. Ty Washington.
It was great, to be honest. Getting a win like that was great. Team Glory, to be honest, was great. Getting back on track and getting wins, being 2-2, there's no better feeling than that.
And then it looked like you had a pretty good game in the run game. I guess how comfortable are you in this offense now that you have a couple games under your belt as well as fall camp?
I think I'm very comfortable. Whatever the offense need me to do, I'm going to do. They need me to go block, I'm going to block. If they need me to go run a route, I'm going to go run a route. I'm just building week by week, trying to better myself.
Tight ends are often young quarterback safety blanket, I would say. How has CJ Clark built the trust with you early on?
I think we was building trust in fall camp, to be honest. I think building that trust, me being a new guy, even though I'm older, like learning offense and like having to learn the route system, how he wants something done, it's been great. Like the connection, us bouncing ideas off each other. So I think the connection and the trust is always going to be there.
And how have you seen him grow in confidence? And how does he command the huddle that makes it click so well?
I think the confidence has always been there with him. I haven't met a quarterback like that that's been confident as much as he had, but he commands the huddle. He says what he got to say, and everybody listens and does their job. That's pretty much how it goes.
I mean, bro, you've been playing with quarterbacks at Arkansas, bro. I'm really throwing a joke at him and what he said. It has nothing to do with CJ, because CJ definitely is built different. But the bar was low, because the quarterbacks he played with at Arkansas weren't really proficient at throwing the football. They really weren't. So I believe him when he says it, though. I need, the offense, talk about layers to the passing offense. Like getting a second tight end involved in play action when teams are going to start focusing on Eli Raritan would be absolutely, especially if you're going to the rollout waggle game, and you have Eli, going into the boundary. It'd be nice to have Ty Washington backside, running the under route or some type of option route. Man, that would be a layer I would love to see in the passing game. Absolutely love to see it. Coach Freeman is still upset about that fourth down that they didn't convert. Still upset, right? And really poor job of blocking and allowing the defensive end to get upfield in CJ's face. But then CJ also has to be aware and have a feel for that and kind of slow down his rollout, pull up a little bit, and step up and see if he can complete a pass right there. That's just a field play, because everything is not going to be perfect. You can call a really good call.
Yeah, nothing's going to be perfect.
Nothing's going to be perfect. Guys will make plays on the other side, and that just comes with experience, man. That's why we were like, yo, just let CJ play, man. Because if you think he's good now, wait until he really starts getting like experience and downloading information, not just from the playbook, but from actual experience, and knowing how to like feel the game a little bit better, or even better than he already does. I'm telling you, man, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for him. Sky's the limit for the offense. Because then next year, he's going to have to prove, okay, who are you without these two dynamic running backs? That's going to be the next challenge next year. And I don't want to go too far down the line, but I promise you, that's going to be the questions for him in the spring and the fall. Like, okay, you don't have Malachi Fields. You don't have these two dynamic running backs. What's the next step for you? I think he's going to handle it very easily. I don't think he'll have one problem having more passing attempts on his shoulders next year.
I don't think he's going to complain if he gets 10 carries.
Heck no. I don't think he complains at all, and I think he walks right into that flow and performs even better than he's performed this year. Man.
That's right. Wait. God willing.
E. Hines 94. E. Hines 594. I'm sorry, E. Hines says Malik, that Terrence Howard players only was fire. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out.
Man, I appreciate that. That's right. Terrence Howard, man, legend, and very, very open and transparent about what was going on, man. And I love his bigger topics too on how it all connects. You know what I mean? And and it was a good experience, man. The Bob Davie era is a wealthy area of guys.
Yeah, you can say what you want to say. Maybe they weren't as successful on the field as the host era, but you talking about what they're doing in business. Those guys, you talking about Justin Tuck, DC Derrick Curry, Javen Hunter being like trustee for the NFL Players Association for the NFL Trust. And then Terrence Howard, what he's doing. Rakai Nelson with his 7-on-7 success up there in Pennsylvania. Man, that's Notre Dame, man. That's Notre Dame. It is definitely a 4 for 40 experience that goes far beyond the football field. And Terrence Howard spoke about that, how he just places calls to people like, man, this is my guy. I need you to do this for him. He's a Notre Dame guy. The network is just absolutely amazing. All right, Left, before we get out of here, everybody in the chat right now, before we get out of here, put your prediction in the chat. Put your prediction in the chat. Your prediction in the chat. What's going to be the final score of the game? If you go over to FanDuel.com right now, we already know it's a 20.5 spread for the Fighting Irish as the favorites. You go to receiving yards. Jeremiah loves receiving yards. Over under total is 34.5. Malachi Fields is right at 53.5. Jordan Faison is at 58.5. All right. Latrell Caples for Boise State, 51.5. And Matt Lauder, 38.5. Over at FanDuel. And then the passing touchdowns for CJ Carr, 2.5. 2.5 over under for touchdown passes. Maddox Matson, 1.5 for Boise State. You can find all of those and more prop bets over at FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app, FanDuel.com. All right, let's get to some of these predictions. Jimmy James, ND by 137. I hear you. Gino, 43-17.
Yeah, we can lower that 20-point total, guys. I mean,
I say 35-17. E. Hines, 594 says 49-21. MJ H. Irish, 84, 42-23. Black Rhino, 75. ND, 49. Boise State, 24. Black Rhino says he has 4 touchdowns for Carr. That's pretty. Everybody feels like the Notre Dame offense is going to continue to hum on Saturday. Left, what is your final prediction? I would love for the defense to score. You know what? I'll give my final prediction before Left gives his. I'm going to go ahead and say that Notre Dame scores 45 points. It's going to be 45-17. 45-17.
I got us 56-13. Same score as last week.
Same score. That's boring.
Same score. I think we can repeat success.
Go to 63. Let them break through the ceiling of 56. They put up 56 the last 2 weeks.
Let me. Okay.
Don't let me send you off.
Let me dial it back because I was excited. I'm gonna say we're at home. We're at home. Okay, I'll say 58-21. 58-21.
58-21. There you have it. I have it 45-17. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for supporting us all week. You'll see me tomorrow morning. We don't have a show tomorrow evening or afternoon because I'll be in the city covering the Brother Rice Mount Carmel game. So tap in. We appreciate you guys. Yes, Gino, I am the ultimate hype man for my boy. They said Malik had the Kool-Aid for real. For real. And then he said, let me walk it back, and then gave the offense 2 more points. Oh, man, you got to love it. Enjoy the game on Saturday, fans. We appreciate you so much. Support us. Go to Bleav Network, download on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, all the audio edibles. Follow us at Lucky Lefty Pod on X, TikTok, and Instagram. And then we thank you for subscribing to us on YouTube. We would appreciate your subscription. Thank you for hitting that like button, the thumbs up, and then leave your comments and questions. We respond to all. For the original Lucky Lefty, Malik ZAIRE, I am SD2 Mikes. Have a great Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And as always, we want you love each other and make sure you continue to spin it different. We'll see you guys after a big win on Monday morning.